Hello, my beautiful Aries. This is Miss Joan of Miss Joan's Tarot on the Hill, and I'm here to talk to you about March. I am programming these cards for you for the period of time from February 26th all the way through April 1st. This will be the overview video. We will have 5 columns with 5 weeks ahead, and I am excited to talk to you about my meditation with you before I started, because it was talking about a quickening. There will be a quickening for Aries in March. There will be things, lots of things are going to move ahead with some intensity. The other thing to know is that you will indeed run yourself into a few obstacles. We will find out in the overview what those will be and what kind of things. But I was warned that you should probably look for there to be some obstacles in your way. Someone is going to try and dull your shine and tell you that you're doing it wrong, that you're on the wrong track, and they're basically momentum killers, right? But we want you to know that the momentum you're killing is a sign of success, right? So yeah, you want to make sure that as you do what you're doing, that you are maintaining your momentum. Ignore them as best you can. We're going to stick with the Ted Andrews deck just to see how that plays. This is the deck for Aries this month. Other signs may be getting other cards. I'm getting a lot of interesting new guidance. So I just want to encourage you to stick with me. We're going to get through this. It's going to be awesome. I too am an Aries, so I'm speaking to myself as much as to you. So that's cool. I pre-programmed these for the going in depth at the end on the first week, which will be February 26th through March 4th. When things try and block your momentum, something cool is happening because you are very seriously pissing something off. Because, you know, they get in your way. They're like, stop that. And they don't want you to win. And the fact remains, you're going to win anyway. But when you know you're on track, it's how to know you're on track, because things want you to stop. So let me go ahead and lay these cards out. This is an exciting month ahead, right? 5 weeks. Bam. There's a lot of room to do a lot of stuff. A lot of good stuff is coming. I can feel it. It'll have some funny edges on some things. I can already tell. This is the first week is going to be where we're at. The second row is going to be what's blocking us, and the third row will be our solution. So yes, some of the obstacles may be outside of the parameters of things that we can control, like weather or you know, acts of God. So don't be as alarmed about some of the obstacles, but just know that it isn't, that, you know, that's, the universe is against you. It's just what's going on, right? Okay, so here's the overview. I'm going to set these cards aside and let's get into it, right? So the first week being February 26th through March 4th, we have the 7 of Pentacles sitting before us, and it's telling me that you are in a position where you have enough money. There may have been a concern coming up to this time where you didn't feel like you had enough coming in, or you weren't making enough, or, you know, the windfall wasn't coming your direction that you were hoping for or expecting. So you've been feeling a little restrained financially, but it won't be a concern as you begin the month. There is, however, going to be some discussion about family money is going to come up as a conversation in an area where it will be blocking you in some way. If you had been expecting some sort of inheritance or expecting some sort of money coming in from the family in the nearby future, there will be a delay on that as well. So groovy, right? So exciting. Why can't things just resolve? You know, you just need to be more patient, I guess, is the key. But, you know, it's not really our strong point. The eight of the major arcana, the strength card is here. And the strength card is, of course, telling us that this particular week, the first week of this month, you're going to need to dig a little deeper inside yourself to really sort of feel your own personal confidence come through, as you have to remember to keep yourself on your own straight and narrow. It's people are going to, of course, try and divert you or tell you that you're, you know, there's no money, you can't do this, don't do that. A lot of people talking about what they think you should do. It's not their life. It's not their deal. So, little talk to the hand moments. But at the same time, even though those things are coming through, a little bit's going to come through and it's going to hit right there. And I want you to know that you're worthy. You're you. There is no other you in the universe. And don't forget that, because it's hard to remember that sometimes. We are the only ones who are exactly like us. Nobody has the exact same background as you at all. Not even your siblings have the exact same background. They weren't there the whole time you were doing that thing you were doing. So know and understand that you are your own unique self, and cherish that person and protect that person. Love that person. There were no mistakes, all right? So keep that in mind. I was told earlier to mention the fact that there's been a lot of losses in the past couple of months, and there's some people have left early, or what appeared to be early to those of us around. And there's no real early, right? There's always right on time. Just as our legs are always exactly the right length to meet the ground, our lives are exactly as long as they're supposed to be. So breathe through that thought and understand that thought for what it is. I'm not sure why I brought it up, but there's been a lot of people losing a lot of people seemingly ahead of time, and it shakes us. It kind of messes with our hearts, and we start to question shit. And the fact is, there's nothing to question. It's all for real, and it's all what's going on. So let's talk about the Knight of Pentacles here for the week of March 5th through the 11th. The Knight of Pentacles is here talking about us fighting for our financial benefit, fighting for our worth and our value, and knowing that we are worthy in so many ways, but doing actual work for money is blocked. So you're actually going to have to do other things rather than work for money. To maybe you're making deals about working, but maybe, I don't know, maybe something's in the way of you actually getting out there and doing some physical labor. So, you know, when fishermen can't fish, they mend their nets, okay? They do the work, the interior work they can do before they can get down on the water. So do that stuff and make sure you're taking care of yourself that way, all right? The solution for this particular week is going to be the Six of Wands. You are going to come up with some ideas that you want to share. All of this it's another little blockage, right? I want to get out there. I want to show my worth and value. I want to do this. I want to do that. You're making plans. You're making plans. So in this case, you're going to want to be able to share your plans or come up with new ideas, learn something new, do something about educating yourself during this time about your big plans, so that, I mean, it might just be the layout in the garden or something else that needs to change from what you had planned originally. You'll figure it out. But before you get too far into the mix, you'll want to make your changes before it becomes a big snafu in your project, right? So cool. The next week over, being the 12th through the 18th, we have the Knight of Wands. The Knight of Wands is here telling you that, well, you've shared your ideas, now you have to fight about them. Arguing is coming. Someone's going to come around and say, well, I think you should do it like this. Not to discount their worth and value either, but to say that, you know, they may have some good points, not all good points, but they will have some good points. Listen, just listen, take in the information. The reason I'm saying you should give it some worth, some thought, and pay attention is because the Fool has shown up as blocked, which is to say, don't jump in right away. Don't just go with what you know. There may be something to be gained from their insight. There may be a different way that could possibly help you, or make it easier for you. There is the possibility, the Six of Cups is here, saying that you will be wanting to share from your heart. And it might very well be that this isn't really a very big work week, but it is an opportunity to get close with your people, an exchange of ideas, and coming up with a brainstorming plan. That's kind of what I feel here. So you have 2 weeks that are kind of brainstorming. Maybe there's really bad weather. I don't know. Just ideas. So here we go. We're going to look at the next week over, the 19th through the 25th of March. We have the Five of Pentacles here. There's interesting stuff going on with the finances. They're back up for review. We want you to pay attention to what's going on and where your money is going and how your money is going. If you want to start investing, think about that. Check the I's, dot the I's, cross the T's. Information about possibilities will be coming to you also for other investments. Something maybe that you've had your eye on for a while will be coming up for sale. You know, these are fun things, and they're definite opportunities. I want you to look for the opportunities and ponder the possibilities. But you're financially blocked a little bit right now. This is the Nine of Pentacles telling me that you don't have a ton of dough laying around for you to play. So consider what you're doing and how you're doing it, and maybe there's some ways to maneuver around the situation, like so-and-so is going to hold a piece of paper and do the thing. There's some very neat real estate tricks that you can do, so that everybody gets what they want and they get to walk away and you get what you want also, but they don't need cash on hand right this minute. It's just suddenly not their thing. Okay? So consider the possibilities of what that could be, all right? Don't consider a lack of money a total block to what you want, okay? Now, we're looking at the Justice card here as your solution for this week. The Justice card is talking about wanting to maintain balance. Don't give up your financial security for this project. If you can find ways to maneuver it so that it becomes what you want it to be without it being like up against you and you feeling off center, out of kilter, out of balance, not free to move about the building, right? Because if you acquire something, you're going to need capital to take care of it. You can't just have, oh, look, now it's my problem. Well, it's your problem, but you need to be able to take care of it. And so you don't want to blow your whole capital situation on this situation, all right? But I see ways and means to fix this and make it right so that you get what you want, and some really cool stuff could start happening for you. Excellent. Things are swinging into balance. There will be some fairness coming into play as well. So that's exciting stuff. The final week of March, being March 26th through April 1st, we are looking at the Five of Swords. The Five of Swords is you taking back your power, feeling your oats, feeling like you have reclaimed your ownership of your situation. You are not feeling like anyone's pushing you in any one direction or other. You've got your stuff in order. You know what you're doing. You've got your goals in play. You're beginning to think about bigger plans and bigger ways to get things going and moving. It's a big deal. Don't worry. Yes. The devil has shown up as your block for this particular week, which of course says that the biggest block to you might be you. Oh, Aries, please, my darling, please don't block yourself this week. But yes, as you go into this situation, you want to be careful. Don't over invest in something that you can't really do anything with, that will end up sucking away money without giving anything back. Okay, that's a big deal. We want you to pay attention to that and just breathe. Okay, breathe a little bit. It isn't about you collecting things and having more of something that you haven't figured out what to do with what you already have, right? So don't get too in over your head about stuff. All right, and know that the solution is the Lovers. So there's potential for a partnership in romance as well as in life, work, friendship, a new business partner, but definitely has a hard vibe to it. There could be some sex and stuff. Oh, be still. I don't know. Hey, so yes, indeed, there could be some relationship stuff coming in, and that might be how you sabotage yourself, is by getting involved in a relationship. Whoops. So don't. But the relationship is the solution. Remember, so don't not do that. Okay. Let's have some joy in our lives, eh? But yes, keeping an eye on the flow of things from week to week. We want to make sure that we don't overdo or overtap one area over another. Okay. So let's go ahead and set these cards aside so that we can get into the overview of the first, or not the overview, but the in-depth reading for the first week, which is, of course, February 26th through March 4th. And these are those three cards. And we pre-programmed the Ted Andrews Animal Wise Tarot deck and are ready to go ahead and lay them out. Let's do this. All right, cool. So what we have is the Seven of Pentacles is being backed up now by the Death card, the Snake, and the Four of Swords, which is the Chickadee. All right, so we were talking about feeling a little on edge about our finances because things haven't been exactly flush lately, and we want to pay attention to that and give it its due. The Snake is shedding the old and resurrection. So we have shedding the old and resurrection, which is us just saying, hey, there's opportunities to renew and come fresh, like approaching the whole thing from a fresh perspective, figuring out, well, maybe we thought we needed like a certain amount for what we were going to do, and the fact is, if we just approach from a different angle, maybe we can use recycled products and kind of mellow out the numbers a little bit and come to a new decision so that we aren't approaching it from that other place. And the other thing to think about with the Death card, of course, is that letting go of old stuff so that we can move forward and approach things from a new perspective, which can mean, you know, just getting rid of old things that don't fit anymore. If you've been hoarding weird things in your place and you want to clean out your closet or any other part of your house and get rid of things that don't fit who you are today, as you move forward in your new established life, by all means, shed the cocoon that is the old house and let your wings fly. Okay, do allow yourself to be free in this moment by loosening things up or getting rid of old stuff. All right. Now the Four of Winged Ones, or Four of Swords, the chickadee, seeking your inner truth. Seeking your inner truth is, you know, the Four of Swords is, of course, your foundation and power. Paying attention to your inner truth is really very close to, you know, as I'm feeling these cards out, I'm feeling that you're stepping into a different way of looking at the world. Maybe you're stepping away from an old job, and in doing so, you're stepping into something new. But the tools you needed for the old job are not the tools you need for the new job, and so you're going to be able to, like, separate things and move things out of the way so you can really focus on these things. There's some cleaning in your future. All right. Hang on to that concept. Organizing your space, getting things ready to go, getting ready to be different from what you were before, but in a good way. Not that who you were before was bad by any means. It's just different. Okay, right? Now, we were talking about the Ten of Pentacles being how you were blocked financially in a family way, and that's interesting. We were talking about maybe some family money isn't coming through like you had thought it would. And that is going to be backed up with the Knight of Wands, fighting for your ideas, right? The Komodo dragon, survival instincts and impulses. So try not to freak out and do anything really weird or yell at your family if the family money isn't coming through like you thought it should. But do enable your other survival instincts, which say, hey, I have sources. I know how to do this. I don't need a ton of dough to feed myself. I have all kinds of things, and I'm well equipped to survive. And that's good. Do those things instead of lashing out at your family. That won't get you anywhere. The Emperor is here, and it's the Eagle. Vision, power, and healing. So vision, power, and healing. All of these things have to do with how you approach your family is really going to, you want to use your better sources, so that you're thinking clearly. You're approaching your family from a heart space, here and here. Let this part of you see your family from this part of you, so that when you talk to people, you're talking from here, not here, okay? Because your head is going to tell you some things, but if your heart was really paying attention, it would say, oh, this isn't really good timing for me to yell at people about that. It's not really great. But it will get you thinking, and it will have you feeling feelings, okay? So don't, while all this stuff is happening, it's not personal. I want you to know that first and foremost, okay? It's going to feel personal. It's going to feel like a jab in the eyeball, okay? From your family, no less. And I want you to dig deep. This is why the Strength card is here, to remember how and why and what's really going on. And that is, other stuff is afoot, and it ain't got nothing to do with you. So breathe and know that as you dig into yourself and know who you are and what's going on, and that you are strong and you are capable and you will survive no matter what, that yeah, things are going on and you may not be getting exactly what you wanted out of this, but it doesn't mean you're not worthy. All right? So if you can hang on to that thought, that's an important thought for you right now. The Three of Swords is here. The rose-breasted grosbeak, healing of the heart. Okay? We're talking about healing of the heart. So just as I was saying, that yes, indeed, you need to remember that you are worthy and that you have worth and value, and it's not your family is not against you. They're just doing some other stuff for a minute that has nothing to do with you. So you're going to have some healing of the heart. There may be a conversation that comes up between you and family members that comes out with some reconciliation, maybe some a family situation, a family conversation, a sibling rivalry situation. We'll have a conversation where you can genuinely impart from your heart and help. And and other people will maybe have a reaction that is surprising, and or they may take responsibility for having not been there. So just be the bigger person in each and every one of these spaces, because the other person is in a worse place probably. So now we have the Ace of Cups, butterfly, new love, joy, and health. So there's your butterfly with new love, joy, and health. And I want you to know that this really speaks to the truth, which is the very act of walking through all of these things that are like the cocoon. Remember, we're shedding a cocoon. The butterfly comes out, right? And you've walked through all this darkness and frustration and feeling lack and feeling less than with your family to come out of the cocoon like the butterfly. And you're going to be able to accept and appreciate new love, as people are going to come to you and say, hey, not only are you worthy, you're amazing. And we see you, okay? We see you. We see you from here, we see you from here, we see you from here. And that's going to feel really good. So at the end of all this sort of strife, this particular week looks full of uncomfortable bullshit, to be quite honest. But truthfully, if you can hang on and not lash out at these wonderful people who are just going through their own stuff, you can end up in a receiving space, okay? So just, and when it's your turn to receive, be polite. Because telling them, I told you so, and all that silly stuff isn't really going to get you where you want to go with it. Now, what do you want when you're down and out? So I always come back to the golden rule personally, and maybe I'm too nice, maybe I'm not. I don't know. But the fact remains, this is an interesting week that has a little bit of a suck to it. But you're a strong, strong human being, and you're going to come through this, all right? Hang in there, and we will talk soon about the 5th through the 11th. Thank you, Aries.